everyone, my name is Jaybird, and welcome to the sad story of Emmeline Burns. Yes, there's another Emmeline now. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So this game is also made by the same person that made, 6 Days of Snow. 6 Days of Snow. Excuse me. So, yeah. Preferences. This is really pretty, the little carousel looking thing. But anyways, let's fucking do this. This is a Yuri game, by the way. My name is Toma Andrews, and I am a victim of identity theft. It's all can't authorize. Fucking hell. It's all Aunt Catherine's fault, of course. Most things are, according to Mum. Oh, I should give her a British voice then. Stealing Mum's favorite dress when they were both schoolgirls was bad enough, but stealing the name of her first and only daughter? Now that's a low not many of us can sink to within our lifetimes. My name was supposed to be Amelia. Mum always loved the name Amelia, though I don't know why. She wanted to call me Amelia if I was a girl, and Thomas if I was a boy, after her father. And then Aunt Catherine ruined everything. Aunt Catherine fell pregnant with her first child around the same time my mum found out she was going to have me. Their due dates were also very similar, only a few weeks apart. Though Mum and Aunt Catherine never been particularly close, they spent more time together during their twin pregnancies than they had done over the last decade. They attended the same hospital for their checkups and went to the same support group at the Civic Center, and their rocky relationship improved over complaints about bladder infections, morning sickness, and uncontrollable cravings for anchovies, Mum, or smoked cheese, Aunt Catherine. Now you're just making me hungry! I've never had anchovies. And then Aunt Catherine stole my name. Aunt Catherine is 1 year younger than my mum, but she always got things first. That's what Mum told me. She was the first to have her period, to pierce her ears, and to have a serious boyfriend. She was the first to have a baby too. A baby girl. A girl called Amelia. Mum didn't know what to do after having her dream name stolen away from her so suddenly. She had half a mind to confront Aunt Catherine about it, but didn't in the end. She'd only just begun to repair her relationship with her sister, and she didn't want to ruin it. I don't know what accent I'm just doing right now. But she was still annoyed. She still is. Mum could have called me Amelia anyway, but the name didn't feel special to her anymore, not when Aunt Catherine had used it. In the end, after much deliberation, Mum decided to go with her second option, Thomas. Since I was a girl, however, Thomas was out of the question. Well, was there a female variant of Thomas then? Thomasina? Thomasandria? Thomasetta? Maybe not. There was Toma, however, Toma Andrews, and that's how I got my name. That might explain why I don't like it very much. My name isn't really mine. Like clothes that are two sizes too big. It doesn't fit me properly. It never has. That's because it was never intended for me. If I'd been called Amelia, would my life be any different? Would it change who I am? I don't know, because I've never been an Amelia. I'm just Toma, the weird girl with the weird name. My dog's barking. And my name isn't the only weird thing about me. Ever since I can remember, my mum has been obsessed with family history. She says it's like playing detective. Hey! Shut up! No! No! Stop it! I think I have to feed her. I'll be back! This is it's magical Tojo all over again. What the fuck do you want? Yes, quite. Now, where was I? Ever since I can remember, my mum has been obsessed with family history. She says it's like playing detective, peeking back into the past with only fragments of information, trying to find the truth. Mum took me to the library with her when I was small, so she could keep a watchful eye over my little blonde head while she delved into the annals of our family's long lost history. There she would spend hours and hours searching through the online databases and old archives on the hunt for articles about the Spencers or the Kendalls or the Lintons or the Becketts or the Bradfords. Unfortunately, our family used to be pretty rich back in the day. Mum says it's a lot easier to research a family tree if you come from a wealthy background. There are more records kept on the comings and goings of the rich, as opposed to street beggars and paupers. That's probably because of the money. As soon as money is involved, people will pay attention to you. It was like that back in the 1700s, and it's exactly the same now. I remember that the floor of the library was hard. What, do you want it to be soft? Do you want a flooring that's soft? Like Jell-O? Ew, your feet would sink into it. Yeah, okay, now I'm just thinking about Jell-O flooring. Gross. Covered in a dark green carpet that was uncomfortable and scratchy, and the walls were a dull gray with the concrete blocks in a multi-story car park. Though my mom got me a library card, I always got bored within the first half hour or so. There are only so many times you can reread volumes of Goosebumps. This nostalgia, though. Despite these inconveniences, however, I still found the stories Mum would tell me about my long-dead relatives interesting. The stories sounded like they came from the pages of a book, not real life, not history, my history. There were stories about my great-great-grandfather Zachary Kendall, who used to be a priest, but was fired from his post after he physically assaulted a member of his congregation while drunk on Christmas Day. Oh, wow, that's a fucking family memory to remember. There were stories about my great-great-great-grandmother, Maribel Spencer, who ran away from home at the age of 15 to marry her middle-aged piano teacher, Roger Beckett. There were stories about my great-great-great-great-aunt, Rose Bradford, who was rumored to be a witch. A witch? Is she a witch? How do we know if she is a witch? Sorry. And claimed she could cure any ache or illness with a sprig of holly. I don't know why, but these stories my mum told me of unknown people from unfamiliar times always resonated with me. Maybe it was because they weren't fictional characters or celebrities, but real people, my family, part of me. I wouldn't be alive right now without Zachary Kendall, even if he did beat up a member of his congregation, and I wouldn't be alive without Maribel Spencer, even if she did have a thing for older men who could play a semi-decent Feu Elise. In a way, I owe them. I owe them a lot. I suppose that what they say is true. Blood really is thicker than water. Mm-hmm. And speaking of blood, the local library wasn't the only place my mum's investigations led her. Oh no, that was just the tip of the iceberg. She went on the deep web. Oh fuck. She used to take me to cemeteries a lot. Not just this cemetery, Barrowbeal Saints, but cemeteries all across Lincolnshire, and sometimes even further afield to Yorkshire or I'm sorry, I can't say that. Chestershire? I know there's no Chester. There's no ch in there. Like Chester's. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with the UK or anything like that. Europe in general. Sorry. I've never seen that word before. The thing about family history is if you get obsessed with it like Mum, birth certificates and death certificates stop being enough. Come back. Come back. Be sure to bring your death certificate. If you guys know what I'm referencing, leave it down in a comment and I'll love you forever. Just kidding. Well, no, I'll still love you, but not forever. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Stop being enough. You want to see real evidence of your ancestors' past lives for yourself. Hence the graveyards. Lots and lots of graveyards. Every weekend, without fail, my mum would take me on a trip to a graveyard, searching for ancestors. Sometimes we turned it into a game. We challenged one another to see who could find Rose Bradford's final resting place the quickest. The winner got to choose what we'd listen to in the car on the way home. Being my mum's daughter, I hated her taste in music, and I was desperate to beat her. I got quite good at finding graves, if I do say so myself. Even though I was around 7 or 8 and my legs weren't as long as my mum's, I was able to beat her 9 times out of 10. I used to think she was going easy on me. Now I'm not so sure. I just have a talent. I'm good at finding dead people. I'm good at finding dead people, you know? I'm just good at it, you know? Even if they have been dead for 2 centuries. And all that's left behind are bones. Now, let me just get one thing straight. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, guys. I'm not crazy. I don't think dead people call out to me or anything. I've never seen a ghost before, excluding the ones in horror movies. I guess it's just a coincidence. But it's quite a strange coincidence. Whenever I went into a graveyard with my mum, I just knew where to look, almost instinctively. My feet just happened to lead me to a tombstone, and via some strange skill I might have inherited from Rose Bradford, the self-proclaimed psychic, fucking hell. I was usually right. That might be why I'm so obsessed with cemeteries even now. Just like some people prefer hot weather, others cold. I like graveyards. I like graveyards just like other people like the weather. Like those two things are comparable. They remind me of my childhood, a fun time spent with my mum, searching for my relatives. When I went out looking for graves with my mum, I was almost always right. Ever since I started attending St. Hugh's College, however, I've only ever felt wrong. Although I get good grades in most of my classes, I'm hopelessly lost when it comes to anything beyond that. I have hardly any friends other than Haiti, and she might turn against me if she knew how I felt about her. And even she might. Oh, do I like her or something? I'm nothing like Amelia Miller, who just so happens to be in the same form as me. She's always surrounded by people. They all love her. Would they love me if I'd been called Amelia instead? I don't know. But I do know, even though it's unfair and ridiculous and I don't dislike Amelia, I'm still jealous of her. Her parents are still together and her dad has a good job and she has nice skin and pretty blue eyes and she's incredibly popular. I, on the other hand, am awkward and shy. Oh, same here! And I can't hold a conversation with anybody other than Haiti. That might be another reason why I like graveyards. There are a lot of people in them, but they can't bother me like they do in school. They're dead, but that's perfectly fine by me. I might be a necrophiliac, but, it's fine, whatever. As the saying goes, dead men tell no tales. They only leave tales behind, which we can examine as we see fit. That's why I came to Barby All Saints this Friday. Instead of catching the bus to go to school, I just wanted some time off. A few moments where I can stop being myself, a person I've never liked. If only I had been born as an Amelia. Then my life would be so much better. Better. I would be so much better. Better. I don't know how to say it. Better. I don't know how I'm gonna be saying that from now on. The day is overcast for early autumn. I'm just gonna read it in my normal voice. And a thick layer of fog creeps along the ground. The grass is wet with morning dew, but the soil beneath it is firm and hard. Just how I like my soil. Firm and hard. I suppose that's to be expected. You wouldn't want to build a graveyard on marshland where people would run the risk of falling through the earth and into the graves. I might have an affinity for the dead, but not even I fancy popping in for an unexpected visit with Gerald Fisher. 1843 to 1912, and Aline, wife of the above. I don't know. It's cold too. The wind snakes down my spine and I shiver. It isn't a rough wind though. Instead, it's soft, brushing past my cheeks and through my hair in an almost apologetic manner. The leaves on the trees are dark green, some already turning red and yellow, but the sun in the sky is obscured by clouds, so everything looks gray. My feet crunch over the stray leaves with every step I take, but that's the only sound I can hear. Just me, the wind, and leaves. Oh, I'm pretty. As I walk through these well-trodden paths, I pause, examining each tombstone that catches my interest. There's something strangely inviting about these old slabs of stone, almost as though they're greeting me. And why wouldn't they? I come here often enough. They should know me by now. Any other mother would probably find their only daughter's obsession with graveyards unsettling. Fortunately, my mom is just as weird as I am, so she doesn't question it. She must know my love of graveyards is all her fault. I nod my head in recognition as I pass each tombstone. Alistair Doncaster, Irene Douglas, Charlotte Draper, Doreen Hughes, right? Abel Johnson, Genevieve Parsons, Aubrey Wedgwood. I wonder about these people, reduced to nothing more than names and bones. What lives did they lead? Were they happy, sad, or merely bemused by all the coincidences which led them into being? For Alistair Doncaster, that happened in 1879. For Irene Douglas, it was 1894. What was the world like back then, when these people were alive, and their footsteps, not mine, crunched the leaves, and fell firmly against the compacted earth? I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine it. As I walk through the graveyard, like Alice sinking into Wonderland, a heavy thought suddenly strikes me. What would it be like if I was already dead? Okay. Thank you for being edgy. I close my eyes. The cold wind blows across my cheeks, and I swear I can almost smell it. The earth in my nostrils, the scent of decay. What was that sound? It was almost like a footstep, but that can't be me. That can't be. I'm the only person here after all. At least I thought I was. Not anymore. Oh my god. Achievement unlocked! Enchant! A young girl stands there, her arms held by her sides, her eyes wide and blue. I don't know. I'm just waiting for it to stop going up. Now I can take a screenshot. Oh boy. She's so pretty. I love her. I will marry her. I will have sex with her. I will smash. 10 out of 10, let me smash. Let me smash you into a brick wall. Oh boy, what am I gonna do with my life? Oh my god, why is the background white? I can't tell where the is. Oh no, oh my god, what am I gonna do with my life? And I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Okay. Her hair is loose, light brown, her fringe cut just above her eyebrows. She wears a white dress, long and modest, which falls to her ankles. Her dress is comprised of a number of layers and looks like something that belongs to another era, another time. In England when Queen Victoria was on the throne, and the horse and carriage was still the main way people got about, and it was socially acceptable to wear bonnets in public. She looks like nobody I've ever seen before, except characters in period dramas. There's something so unrealistic about her appearance I can hardly bring myself to believe that she's really real. Maybe that's why I'm doing something I rarely ever do. My curiosity unsticks my throat, and I find myself asking her a question. Are you going to a costume party? I don't know. I feel like this is a really awkward place to leave it off at, but I'm gonna leave this episode off here. I'm sorry, it's really awkward, but you know what? Whatever. We're fine. This is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. So, that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode of the sad story of Emmeline Burns, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye-bye!